What up, good people? Happy 2024. If you're watching, then it means you're alive. You survived 2023. That's a good thing, right? I don't know. Some of y'all, I'm not a part of um, the angry spiritual people posse who angry with being a human, angry about being in the physical, angry about being on the planet. I don't know, whatever. I got none of that. I love it all. I love it all. Give me all of it. I want to experience all of it. I love the taste of life. Turns me on. The intrigue. Life has been deliciously intriguing. Did 2023 whip your ass? It did mine. And for that we give thanks. For that we give thanks. I guess that's what made me crazy. Because I want it. I want all the smoke. Sometimes, and I'm going to tell you this. 2023 said, oh yeah. It said, oh yeah, okay, watch this. Gave me, oh man, did it give it all to me. And for that I give thanks. Like, I see pressure as a privilege. The fact that the light comes on for me, but it don't for everybody, like it's a specialty right there. Like that's some separation. Ain't no good or bad. I'm just saying there's a difference, and I appreciate the difference. If you don't know who I am, I'm Root the Great. And if you're wondering who the hell told me I'm great, I wonder who the hell told you that you weren't. That ain't even the worst part, though. It's the fact that you believe it. It's the fact that you believe it. I thought the point in all of this, right? I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought it was about learning how to turn away from the world and telling the world no. Telling other people no. Telling all the other things no. I was wrong. Ain't about that at all. Or it ain't mainly about that. You know what it's really about? It's about saying yes to yourself. That's going to be the hardest thing you ever do, is say yes to yourself, to choose you. How I know I don't fit into the world is because I can't fall in line. I can't play the game like everybody else. I can't. What you tell me is a priority or most important, I can't get with it because I'm going to choose me. That's my priority. And I will cut off anybody and anything. Whatever is necessary. I'll go the distance. I will do whatever for however long. When people ask me, we're talking about addressing illness, and they pose the question, well, Rook, how long? I always want, like, what the fuck does it matter? If it's 2 months or 10 years, what does it matter? I know you ain't serious. You ain't convicted. Like, y'all be talking this shit, and I just observe. I do a lot of observing, and I watch the conversations that we're having, and they're all stupid to me. That's why I don't jump in. I just watch. What are we even talking about? Where are the doers? Let me say something. Let me say something to those of us who supposed to be doing the work. All right, we're the problem. Just for the record. The more we point out what's wrong with the world, the more we point out what's not happening or the direction that is going that we don't like, that isn't most ideal, we are to blame because we watch and we do nothing. If you don't like what you're seeing, then contribute something different. Add something else to the equation. Live the shit you talk. That's my greatest conviction. Am I walking the talk? Am I walking the talk? I have said multiple times I talk my shit because I can back it up. But people leave out this. There's a ... right? In the instance that I can't back up what I'm talking about, I welcome every opportunity to chin check my ass. What are we talking about, though? What are we really talking about? You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about what you've been doing with yourself. I'm talking about, I really only speak to the soul seekers, those who can feel some shit, those who tapped in and turned on. It ain't even gotta be that deep, but you got the urge. You can hear me. See, here's the thing about hearing me. If you ain't ready to really change your life, you understand what I'm saying? If you ain't really ready to do this shit, you should log off. You shouldn't be online. You definitely shouldn't be listening to me. It's impossible to be connected to me and stay where you are. So you better not let these waves get into your system. You better not let this energy penetrate your spirit, because ain't no turning back. That's what's so funny. Watching the chosen ones try to turn back. Nigga, you can't turn back. What's wrong with you? Ain't no turning back. You've already chose. Who are the chosen? I watch all this dumbass discussion going back and forth. Like, dumbass Bible niggas got to be the worst mofos on this earth. I like the conviction, right? I like how just, but the fact that you don't even know what you're talking about. You know who the real, I'm going to do a video on that. You know who the real Antichrist is? Christians. Let's do a video. 10 reasons. 10, I'm going to give you evidence too. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to take the Jesus words and I'm going to prove how Christians are the true Antichrist. We'll talk about that later. We always talk about stuff like people are surface level, reading things, talking about things, but never get to the depth of the thing. And the chosen ones ain't got nothing to do with where you are geographically. That's the dumbest shit. Like, what? If somebody is chosen based on where they was born on a planet, then what does that make your funky ass? Huh? I guess. Whatever. Black people, if y'all believe that the Israel... Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Whatever works for you. If that's who you believe the chosen ones are, cool. The real chosen ones are those who know. Those who've been initiated. And they've initiated themselves. They've chosen themselves. The moment that you can hear the call, you are the chosen. Point blank, period. Ain't no deeper than that. Can you hear it or can you not? Can you see it or can you not? Because if you can, it's you. If you could run away from the call, you would have already. Ask me how I know. I'm not only the client, baby. I've specialized in being the running president. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what it sounds like. And I'm telling you from experience, you can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Ain't nowhere to go. All roads lead to you. All roads lead back to you. This is why you can't find rest. That's what we need to talk about. Why? You know why I've been this past year? The hell. Literally. The reason why you niggas can't box with me, because you won't go. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it the way I feel it. You will never be able to box with me because you won't go to hell. This last trip was my third. Well, let me rephrase that. A lot of you already in hell and you don't know it. I'm talking about a conscious trip to hell. This is the third one that I was conscious of. The first one was 2010. The first time I really lost my mind. The second time was 2013. I think it was 2014. Second time I lost my mind. But this last one, oh baby, it was the best one yet. It was the best one yet. Ain't nothing brought me to my knees like this one. What can the world do to me? Once I go to hell and come back, what can the world do to me? What can you do to me? What can you take from me? Nothing. Nothing. And this is why I think you need to go. And those who are tapped in and turned on, you going either way. The dark night of the soul is coming for you. Or maybe you coming for it. Maybe you coming for it. I don't know, whatever way you want to phrase it. But in the words of the great prime time, we coming. We coming. What is the dark night of the soul? It's the ego death. It's the shattering. You must shatter your life as you know it. And we spend so much time trying to create this separation to try to get away from certain people and certain environments, and that is part of it. But you don't get that the biggest, most significant thing that you got to separate from is you. It's the old you. It's got to be a departure. That's the hardest part, because old you has held you down. Old you been rocking with you heavy. How do you turn away from that? The good book says it's only those who lose their life who will gain it. Those who gain their life will lose it. You ain't never sit and think about, we repeat all these scriptures. Anybody ever ask what this shit really mean? That's the letting go. It ain't just the people, places, and things. It's letting go old you. And there's a mourning process that takes place. First, you're gonna go through withdrawal. There's going to be a denial. You're going to fight for that which is keeping you bound. You're going to fight for that which is holding you back. That which is destroying you. Come on, y'all. You're not catching the message. You're not catching the message. Like, I don't even know how to explain certain things. I'm going to be honest with you. Eventually, I think maybe I'll get some clarity. I think there are certain things that are simply the mystery. There's things that have to be experienced, that it goes beyond the physical. So it don't matter what way I try to explain it until you get in the trenches yourself, until you go to hell yourself. And you ain't never going to get it. The fire purifies you. You won't let the fire consume you. Damn, that was good. You won't let the fire consume you. You get just close enough for it to get warm, and you pull back. And so the dark night of the soul, what hell really is when you hit this state of confusion and helplessness. You ain't even got no creativity. There's no will. There's no, all the things that you need to be doing and supposed to be doing, but you can't connect. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got the baddest car, got a new engine, and the more you you trying to turn ignition, won't ignite. You feel disconnected from the Most High, which is impossible, but that's the way it feels. And there's only one option for you, is a surrender. You got to surrender to new. And the letting go of the old, I think we underestimate how attached we are to the physical, how attached we are to our old self, our old beliefs, our old mindsets. We think it's the world looking at us with a judging eye, but nigga, it is you looking at yourself through that eye. Because if I become this person, if I move into a space that is contradictory to what I've actually said myself, because I said a good human does these things, a good woman does these things, and a good man does these things. And if I start to move in contradiction to that, how would that make me look? So hold on. That's what you do. We do it. We hold on. And the longer you do, the more you're going to stay there. How long do you, the dark night of the soul, when the whole world goes black? Can't nobody help you there. You get to a certain point on your journey, like someone can be with you on your journey, and you get to a certain point where there's this that happens. There's a certain part, right, that you get to the maze, right? You get into the maze that no one can accompany you there. It is there where you discover you. You understand what I'm saying? I was talking to someone earlier. We was talking about the struggles that they're having. And this health shit is always deeper than the physical. Everybody get caught up in the physical and how long it's taken and what is so hard to figure out about this, that, or the other. But it is what is happening. Like, You cannot usher illness into the body at the physical level without there being some discord at the energetic level, at the emotional level. And I was sharing with them that you're being required at this moment to dig deeper than you ever have. I said, if we had got into this and addressed all of your issues in 6 weeks, you never seek in the way that you're seeking right now. Don't you see the purpose in this? And it ain't because I'm deciding that this is what you need. This is what you are deciding that you need. Your soul is saying more. And the more you try to play on the surface, the more you're going to suffer. You're going to stay in hell. Damn. Ask me how I know. The letting go, we all know. We all know the truth. I think it was, what's that lady name? I think it was Linda Faye that said you have to learn how to trust your intuition before it makes sense. Before it makes sense. See, once it makes sense, and I'm very analytical. I like to know the way how things work and why is this. If that's a formula, like how does a formula work? I used to piss my teachers off in high school. Some of the early advanced, calculus classes I would take. They gave us these new TI-82 graphic calculators. So we have this funky little formula, right? And she showed us how to put it in a calculator. But I wanted to know, but how does even the calculator formulate that? Like, how do you get to that answer? She was like, well, it doesn't matter. You just put it in. I'm like, but what if I don't have the calculator? She was like, well, even on the test, you're going to be able to use the calculator. Listen, bitch, I get all that. I'm just saying, I want to know. What if my battery in my calculator dead? She could have just said she didn't know. That would have been a sufficient answer. Because that's the truth. She didn't know. But that's how my mind works, right? However, there comes a point, a time in your journey that the physical mind can no longer help you. Don't you understand? There's levels. And that ain't just a cute little saying. And when you elevate beyond where you are, the tools that you use at level 3, you can't use at level 5. They can no longer help you. I was talking to a friend of mine. We was kind of not even debating, just kind of going back and forth. It was like, well, nah, Rook, I think it's not about them no longer working. Is that you got to just figure out how to use them. I'm like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. What was able to serve you at one point when you move energetically out of that, from that plane? No, you got to get some new weaponry at that point. It has to be an upgrade. Ask people in the church. Don't you see what's happening? Everybody want to just say, we just need to get back to traditional this and that. Don't you know that some shit is done, bruh? As the consciousness across the planet rises, ain't no going back. That is not to say that there aren't things that need to be preserved. Absolutely. But this whole thing, just go back to tradition. Just no, some things. And this is why people cannot find it. This is why Jesus served your grandmother, but is not serving you. You got to go more. You got to go deeper. You know something I learned? People cannot meet you at a depth that they have not met within themselves. Listen, you can do kumbaya circles. You can do prayer circles. You can, whatever else that you want to throw in there. It ain't going to happen. And that's what you find out in hell. You find out who you are. And most of us don't want to face that. Comfort. What did Bain say? Peace has caused you your strength. You get in a point of stagnation in your life and frustration. In January of last year, I just remember it was exactly this time of the year. I don't think it was the 5th. It might have been around, but it was around this time. And I felt that something was off, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Like I couldn't get into my groove. Like I was looking back at my list of goals. And the previous year, I just didn't move the needle that much. I didn't know why. I kind of had some idea of certain things. This was an interruption. This was a distraction. But, like, what's wrong? Something wrong with you. Awareness. Something is wrong. But I didn't know what it was. Like, it's hard to fix something when you don't know the problem. So I kept asking. I just put that out there. I just made a declaration, like, make the path clear. Show me what I'm not seeing. Show me my next best step. And boy, did it. Let me tell you something. Don't ask questions that you don't want the answers for. Don't knock if you don't want the door to open. Don't seek if you don't plan to find. You better stay where you are. You better stay where you are. You better stop looking, because you're going to run up on something that's going to require you to do something. Everybody like, I want the truth. Tell me the truth. But what you going to do with it when you get it? What you going to do with it? Once you find out that you've been slipping on your pimping, once you found out that you done got lost in the sauce, what you going to do about it? I was talking to this lady who was like trying to find out, if her dude was doing some stuff, right? Older lady. And I asked her, well, if you do find out, what you gonna do about it? Because if you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then what's the point? Well, I just want to know. Why? I'm not advocating anything. I'm using it as a point. Because y'all know how y'all... Okay, maybe that wasn't a good example. The point is, when you ask for truth, you need to be prepared to do something with it. And this is what I know about life. This is what I know about having a strong calling on your life, that the universe will get his hands around your neck. And in the early stages, the squeezing is very subtle. You don't even really feel it. It's real subtle. But the more that your spirit requires more, the more your soul is telling you to move and you don't, the tighter that grip gonna get. It is a death. I ain't never died in the physical. I don't think. This lifetime. But it feels like life is starting to come out of you. That's why you can't find it. Y'all be working so hard. We be working so hard. Not realizing if you would just get in alignment, the dam would open. The dam would burst, baby. The answers that you're looking for would come. Do you know how much easier it is to get in the flow? Like to operate in divine inspiration? You can move the needle in a way where someone is working 10 times harder, but you get more results. But guess what? We're determined to do it our way. We're going to stay in the mind. This is what I love the most. I'm guilty. I've been guilty of it, right? I'm going to get to that. Let me just get these things here in order. Then I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to really dedicate, you know what I'm saying? The things that are on my heart, the things that are speaking to me. Let me just get these things over here in order. It's like you telling spirit that I'm going to get back to you. I got to plan and I got to prep. Tell me how that worked out. I want you to come back. I want you, if you're listening to this and that's your approach right now, in December, I want you to come back. Let me know how that worked out. You don't get it. You ain't like everybody else. And the same shit that everybody else is able to do, you ain't going to be able to do. See, the disturbance on the inside going to get so disruptive. The fire going to burn so intensely. You ain't going to have no other choice but to move. That's hell. That's hell, baby. The unsettling. The restlessness. And I think it's good. You know why I love it? Because we wouldn't move otherwise. When you get into a place of stagnation and you don't know what to do, disrupt. I'm all for it. Disrupt. I think you should disrupt. This is what I like about. This is why some of y'all won't jump into these food challenges. These food challenges that we do. because you don't want to disrupt. You don't want to find out what come up when you pull away from that table. When you can't run to your drug. Can't run to them damn Doritos, them donuts, that fried chicken. Who are you then? What comes up when you ain't able to hide behind that? We gonna get into it. We're gonna do one. Maybe I'll do it publicly. We do it in the group. Last year in the inner circle, we focused on what cleansing looks like every quarter, and we did a different one every quarter. First quarter, I think we did a 20-day plant-based. You could have cooked food, just couldn't have the obvious meat, dairy, anything processed, any fast foods. Then I think the spring we did 30 days. 30 days, and then we pull back on the heavy stuff. No nuts, no potatoes, no rice, no oils. Then in the summer, we did a 7-day fruit only for 7 days, just fruit. And then we closed out in October, we did 20 days raw. Or was it 40 days? No, we did 40 days raw. And then we did a full body cleanse. So just showing you like what that looks like when you incorporate a yearly practice. But if some of y'all, you won't step into that world, because I know the attachment. You ain't got to be smoking. You ain't got to be drinking. But you eating. That we all know. And when you pull away from that, the agitation that comes up, right? The emotions that come up. Because that's the biggest part about detox. Most of the time people focus on what comes up in the body physically. You start to move toxins. They start to come to the surface. You notice different changes. You could notice. I never say look for certain things, right? But you could notice changes. You could notice agitation and headaches and cold and flu-like symptoms as the body is purging and releasing. But nobody really talks about the emotional release that happens. Don't nobody want to deal with that shit. You ain't been down. Tell me when the last time you been down on the floor, bawling, crying your eyes out, releasing. That's another sign of the dark night of the soul. So much energy comes into the body that dense energy got to be released. You got to have a way for that to purge, and oftentimes it's by way of tears. Energy in motion. Y'all ain't about this life. That's what I've learned, and that's okay. I think it's it's good to know where you are. I just think you should go to hell a time or 2 or 3. I think you should lose your mind a time or 2 or 3. That's how. Show me that it's real. Let go of what it is that you know, what it is that you think, what it is that you believe. It's the surrender. You surrender to higher will, higher purpose. Surrender to the soul call. That's what it's all about. And it doesn't stop. It loops until you finally do. It loops. And can you still have physical success? Yeah. You can get money. You can get some money. You can get a new crib, new cars. That's another sign when you know that you're on the brink of a spiritual transformation, so-called awakening, is that what used to feed you no longer does. That you can be in the midst of all the great, wonderful things, but it still don't fill you. Why aren't you satisfied? You almost feel guilty. You almost feel guilty that I should just be grateful, right? I should just be like, I'm healthy for the most part. My family healthy. My parents good. My kids good. Why is it that I've gotten some of the things? I got the checklist. We all got the checklist, right? I got the list and I've been checking things off. Why am I not good? Being different, trying to act the same, being a god, trying to act like a human, tisk tisk. And it's good. We need these lessons. So, what makes me, and I was sharing this with somebody, I was like, what makes me different from most people is I don't care about looking stupid, not anymore. Looking stupid to you? Even looking like a hypocrite or a contradiction. I'll work through that. I'll figure that out because I want to know. I want to know where my gaps are. I want to know where I'm not as good as I thought I was. I want to know where I need to tighten up. I want to know where I'm slipping on my pimping. I want to know what riles me up. What makes me afraid. The things that I'm clear on what I'm not afraid about. I'm not where fear doesn't, get me by the throat. I'm clear on that. Show me my blind spots. And so anytime life comes in and gives me an opportunity to see that, I ain't beefing. I ain't got no beef with life. I ain't got no beef with nobody. I salute everybody. Appreciate you. But I ain't stopping for nobody either. The train coming through, baby. The train is coming through. Do I got room for you? Of course. Hop on, baby. Get on. Hop on. But I ain't slowing down. No, you gonna have to pick it up. If there's any separation between you and me, baby, you got to meet me here. I ain't coming back down. No. Bro, you can't even extend your hand? Nope. You don't need me to. I don't believe one of my clients earlier I was talking to, I was like, I just don't believe anybody that, matter of fact, ain't no belief. I know there's nobody that can connect with me and start working with me in this way that don't got it. So, no, you don't need me to extend my hand. I know what you're capable of. I know what's in you. And I'm always going to speak to that. I ain't never going to speak to the victim in you. I ain't never going to speak to the pity in you. So if that's what you waiting for, ain't going to happen. Well, Brooke, you ain't got no compassion. Call it whatever you want. I speak to the power in you, the God in you, the one, that which is capable in you. And I think if you can't speak to you in that way, maybe it's time for you to go to hell. Buy you a one-way ticket, baby. I don't want you to come back. No, you got to go through hell. No. Ain't no coming back. No. And I see people who turn back or attempt to. Well, let's just say that. They just stay further. Like the moment that you surrender and you say, this is what I loved about my recent trip. I said, strip me down to nothing. To nothing. Whatever it is that is not in alignment with my highest self, who I'm becoming and where I'm going, let that shit fall from me. And boy, did it. Forget what I thought. I thought it was going to look a certain way. I thought I was going this direction. I thought I was going to travel that way. Didn't work out that way. I don't care. That's the ego death. When you let go of the mind, the physical mind we need. It helps us navigate this physical realm. We ain't beefing with it. But it cannot be the dominant ever. Especially when you are soul driven. It can't. Don't you? I think here's a bigger lesson. You cannot lead by your head when you are heart driven. Until you get back into your heart. This is where this was my aha. One of the greatest revelations. I get so excited. Because I can see. And when you can see, there's only one eye I need to be able to see through. These two eyes right here, right now, if I was to tell you what I'm seeing right now, the hell with them eyes. It's only one eye that I really need to see, that I need to be tapped into and turned on to. And the revelation was, Rook, too much head, too little heart. And I'm going to lean into that sucker now like I never have before. Ever in my life. We leaning into the heart. And this is what I discovered. You really want to elevate spiritually. Think about the chakra system, the main chakra system, because we talked about this before. There are more than 7. But the main ones you think about, right in the genital area, you have the root chakra, right? Then you have the sacral chakra. Then you have the solar plexus. Then you get right here to the heart. Right here to the heart. From there, we got the throat, we got the third eye, and we got the crown. How you get into the crown without going through the heart? How you get into Christ consciousness without going through the heart, you fool? I was talking to myself right there. But if it applies, ain't no way. Ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way. So until you decide to open that up, and that's going to require a level of vulnerability. You know, I kind of hate that word because I think it's overused, and then people go online and they take the word vulnerable. Somebody got misinformed that vulnerability was about you sharing whatever with other people. Okay, to some degree, but the point in being vulnerable was about you, nigga. You being vulnerable with yourself. You won't even be vulnerable with you. You won't even take your guard down with you. Lord have mercy. Christ. Damn. You won't even get still with you. You won't even open yourself up to you. Damn, you won't even love on you that much. And that's why I come back to my original statement. It is less about telling the world no and telling yourself yes. You won't even choose you. You don't even feel worthy. I got pissed off when my spirit started to tell me that. You don't feel worthy. Like, what you mean? I'm Rook the Great. What you mean I don't feel worthy? I'm telling you this is what I want. This the life I want. This is the things I want to experience. It's like, nah, but you don't feel worthy. And I'm like, what do you... That don't make no sense. But that's what you find out in hell. You know, maybe I should have started. I guess I started this wrong. We probably should have defined what hell is. I guess that's important. I gave you signs to know when you're in hell, but I guess I should have. What is hell? Hell ain't no place in the earth, in the depths of the earth. You've been misinformed. That should be good news, right? Why people get disappointed with finding out that there is no place in the earth where you can go to hell? You ain't going. That should be good news, right? You know why you niggas don't like that? Because you want retribution. Look at you. Revenge ass. You want to believe that the shit you doing is getting you a get out of jail free card. You want the people who you don't like, the people that you don't agree with, you like the idea that they'll be punished. That's why you won't let go of it. But I'm here to tell you that it's not a place. Neither is heaven. That should be good news. It's here, baby. It's here, baby. It's here. And you can enter in it and get out of it at any time. At any time. And so, going back to the chakras, hell are the lower chakras, the dark place, the hidden, the animal self. When you operate from that, you operate in suffering. When you see the Bible speak of this wonderful heaven where there's no more pain, there's no more tears, there's no more suffering, that is when you have elevated consciously. Ta-da! That should be good news, right? I know that's not good news because you want to feel like you better than other people. So you tell yourself that, I'm going to heaven. I don't know how you're going to get there. You ain't never left hell. How you going to get there? We should talk about the physical changes. I like when people say stupid stuff like, well, what about getting to the science? As if there's some separation between spirituality and science. Nigga, spirituality is the original science. What you talking about? What you talking about? But if you want to know the physical changes that happen when you have a spiritual awakening, if you want to know the physical changes that happen when there's a Kundalini rising, we can talk about that. What happens in the spine? What happens to the fluid that rises? We can talk about the Jesus story, what is happening, the rock, the place in the mind, because Calvary means skull. Discussion for another day. It's all you. The whole book is talking about you. That's why I ain't got time for no dumbass conversations about people who are reading the Bible literally. Pharisees. That's what you are. Physical minded, carnal minded is what you are. And because you get off on beating your stuff, beating other people over the head. Why it gets so dark in here? The reason why you get off on beating that your Bible over somebody else's head, because that's all you got. That's all you got. That's all you got. You ain't got nothing else. You are the Antichrist. You are the Antichrist, nigga. Because all you do is just quote some shit. And you think because you studied. Ain't nothing worse than an old carnal mind nigga. Because you intellectually, I done studied and memorized some shit. Tell me what you've lived. Tell me how you've taken the words on that page and brought it to life. That's what I'm interested in. But I'm crazy, so maybe that's just me. You should go to hell. If you didn't go to hell in 2023, I hope you go to hell in 2024. I hope you experience the brimstone. Is it the brimstone? Is that what it's called? The fire. I hope the pressure. I hope life don't let up until it move you into position, until it gets you where you want to be, where you asked to be. The ashes. You got to let the fire consume you until it burns you to nothing. The only thing that can stand. My favorite, my theme. You know what I say all the time if you listen, if you've been listening. If life is trying to break you, let it. If life is trying to break you, let it. Why? Why would you say such a thing? I thought you said that life can't break you. Well, let me elaborate a little bit. If life is trying to break you, let it. Because the only thing that can be broken is the illusion, the fake, the phony, that which is not rooted in truth. So if there's a breaking that needs to happen, that's the only thing. And what I've learned is what's really breaking is the wall around our heart is what's breaking. It's an attempt to let in the light. Y'all be playing with it. We're the seekers. Is this thing on? Holler at me if you are the seekers. You came for, and that's why I don't trip on my path. My path is understanding. Shout out to the pain that birthed understanding. It's a level of, if you suffering with or struggling with finding your voice. 2012 me don't know who this person is right here. They might have saw a glimpse of her, but no. 2010, no. Shit, 2015 to be honest. No. Something happened. Something changed. And if you're struggling with finding your voice and getting comfortable in who you are and in your knowing, like if some of the words that I say don't really make sense to you, it's like, I feel you, Rook, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That is so good. The fact that it resonates, that's energy to energy. That's where it starts. Don't worry. You got to have complete confidence that you're going to get what you need when you need it. What is for you is for you. The idea of a gatekeeper. You know what's so insane to me about that? The idea of a gatekeeper. The idea that another human can keep anything from me. You can shut the internet down, nigga. You can burn the libraries down. You can do whatever you want. Do you really think if there is information, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for me, that another human can stand in the way of that? You must be out of your mind. Y'all not serious. I need to talk to the people who's serious. If you see, can you leave me, just holler at me in the comments if you serious. I need to. Are you here to live like everybody else or are you not? today for the 5 Minute Friday on the podcast, the question, it wasn't a question. I said you need to figure out what you want and what you can't live without. That shit should burn so intensely. This is the problem that we have right now, that don't nobody feel nothing. That it ain't no meaning behind what it is that we do. It's just, we're just going through the motions. The post that went viral the other day, the guy, maybe it's a guy, I don't know who it was. They said, what is it? What's wrong with our generation? Why are we so unhappy? Because, and my response was, because we're feeding everything other than the soul. You are dead and you don't even know it. The zombie apocalypse, nigga, it's right now. What you talking about? You're not even in tune with yourself. The things that inspire you, the things that move you, the things that make you come alive, you don't even feel you anymore. I gave 3 points yesterday. I did a podcast yesterday. 3 signs. Maybe I should post it. I hesitate to send the podcast here because I go a little rogue sometimes and I don't want to have to do a lot of editing. Anyway. The 3 points that I gave yesterday was 3 signs that you know you already dead. Numbness, stagnation, and restlessness. Your soul is disturbing you for a reason, nigga. I hope it drives you crazy. I hope it drives you insane. I hope you lose your mind. Lose your mind. And then after that, I hope out of the ashes rises the phoenix. The fact that you can't see the rightness in all things, the fact that you can't see the order in all things, this is where you err. I know you ain't in your spiritual bag because you're tripping. And righteousness is the ability to see the rightness in all things, the ability to see the all in all things. And you still tripping. Because you focus on what your physical eye confirms to you. I can't trust a nigga whose confirmations come from the physical. I can't trust you. I can't trust some shit pop off. I cannot trust you. Get behind me, nigga. You cannot take the lead. Okay? I'm serious. I need to know that you are guided by something other than the physical. That's important. You can't get it wrong. If everything is working for your good, Romans 8:28. You know something else about that verse, right? That people leave out. That's really not the whole verse, right? What is it? Romans 8:28. All things work together for good. That's not the whole verse. Just for the record. To them who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. All things work together for good. So what would I be tripping over? For if I do understand there's a lot of people that's struggling, right? And a lot of people are left feeling isolated or abandoned. Let me tell you something. If a person leaves, let them. Like, give people what they want. If people want to be isolated, if people want to be left alone, let them. If people don't want to be loved and cared for, so be it. Now, here's a trick. Can't nobody stop you from loving them. They can be on the other side of the world. You can't stop me from loving you. That's impossible. You're going to get this love. You understand me? But when people want to close the door on you, let them. Matter of fact, lock that bitch. Don't keep trying to knock and reopen it. No. Give people what they want. They are where they are. And obviously, it's something there that they need. So it's an honoring. What I found is the more that I honor my own process, the easier it is to honor somebody else's. The more I honor my own journey and the path that I'm on, the more I can do the same for somebody else. So if you can't rock with how I get down, okay, peace. I send you good tidings. Go to hell. Go to hell. When I tell you that, you should look at that as a compliment. Go to hell. Just don't stay there. Ah. Perfect way to end it, ain't it? Go to hell, but nigga, do not stay there. The point is not to stay in the suffering. Take it from a person who got lost in the sauce. Don't find honor in lifelong suffering. At some point, you should come up for air. At some point, there should be a moving out of that. Does that make sense? Go to hell. And after you go, tell me what you find out. Tell me what you learn. Tell me what you gather. Matter of fact, you ain't gonna have to tell me because I'm gonna know. I can see. I can smell the embers. I can smell the smoldering of the smoke of the fire. I'm gonna be able to tell. I always know who been in the trenches and who hasn't, and I always know who been running because I've done both. So if you looking to expand yourself and where you are, if you looking to, if it's the whisper is there, the urging, you keep getting it. It's for something else, for something more. You remind yourself that I ain't getting this for no reason. It's coming to me for a reason. Follow that. Follow what resonates and see where it takes you. Good things are in store. I'm a witness. Think about it. That's all I got for you. Peace.